Your hands can do something right now that your hands have forgotten how to do, not because you lost the ability, but because you stopped using it. And the moment you stopped, your brain literally rewired itself. Your fingers became less sensitive. Your grip became weaker. Your entire nervous system forgot how to speak the language of trees. Ancient humans could climb, not climb like a ladder. Climb like a creature that belonged in the canopy. A human could grab a vertical wall of bark with their fingers and pull themselves up 60 feet without thinking about it. Their toes gripped like a second set of hands. Their shoulders had the strength and endurance of someone who moved through 3 dimensions, not just 2, and their brain had a map of space that included up. You have lost this, not your anatomy, your neurology, not your muscles. Your motor cortex, the part of your brain that controls movement, has completely reorganized itself around the idea that you move on flat ground, that you grab things at shoulder height or below. That down is always down, and up is somewhere you think about but never go. This is just the beginning of what you have forgotten. Ancient humans could navigate by stars with precision that would shame modern GPS, not by learning it, by doing it. A person could walk into an unfamiliar forest at night and keep a perfect straight line using Polaris and the movement of the sky alone. Their brain had developed a spatial awareness system that operated on celestial coordinates the way your brain operates on road signs and Google Maps. They could navigate across open ocean using nothing but the stars and the shape of waves. This was not genius. This was normal. This was what a human brain did when it had to. Your brain has lost this capacity, not because you cannot learn it, but because you stopped needing it. The neural pathways that maintained this skill have been repurposed. Your brain is lazy. It keeps what it uses. It discards what it doesn't. And for 10,000 years, you have not needed to navigate by stars. A study by Dr. Julie Irwin found that people who lose their sight develop enhanced spatial memory. Their brains reorganize. The neural real estate devoted to vision gets reassigned to spatial awareness. They can navigate by sound and touch with precision that sighted people find miraculous. But these are not miracles. These are just humans, using their brains the way humans are supposed to. Your ancestors did this with the night sky. Your brain was wired to remember the position of every star, to calculate your movement against the rotation of the heavens, to know where you were by knowing where they were. You have lost this. Ancient humans had a sense of smell that operated like a bloodhound, not because their nose was physically different, but because their brain dedicated massive neural resources to processing scent. A human could track another human across forest floor by smell alone, could identify individual people by scent the way you identify them by face, could detect the smell of disease on another person's skin, could sense fear in someone's sweat. This was normal human cognition, not extraordinary. Just what the human brain did when it prioritized smell over written language. Your sense of smell is vestigial, not because your nose changed, because your brain stopped paying attention. Dr. John McGann published research showing that humans have olfactory capacity equal to many mammals we consider to have superior smell. But our brain has downgraded the sensory input. We use about 30% of our olfactory cortex. Our ancestors used it all. Every scent was information. Every molecule told a story. Your nose is still there. Your brain is not listening. Ancient humans could make tools from nothing with a level of precision that approaches artistry. Not tools for cooking, tools for hunting, tools for survival. A person could look at a rock and see the animal inside it. Could strike it once, twice, 3 times with exact geometric accuracy and produce an edge sharp enough to cut through bone. To split wood. To skin an animal. This required spatial reasoning so advanced it would astound you. Mental rotation in 3 dimensions faster than conscious thought. Hand-eye coordination that never wavered. Muscle memory trained from childhood into a form of second language. Your hands cannot do this. Not because they lack the physical capability, because your brain never learned to see the animal in the stone. A study by Dr. Miriam Hadel examined the cognitive load required for ancient toolmaking. She found that the skill levels demonstrated by Homo erectus and early Homo sapiens indicate a level of mental planning, spatial reasoning, and deliberate practice that rivals modern craftspeople. But this was not specialist work. This was what everyone could do. Children could do it. It was as normal as you tying your shoes. Your brain has lost the ability to do complex spatial reasoning on the fly. You can learn it. You can train it. But you will never have it as second nature. Not unless you start at age 3 and repeat it 10,000 times. Your ancestors did not learn to make stone tools. They grew up around them. They watched them being made. Their brains developed in an environment that valued and required spatial visualization. Your brain developed in an environment of screens and text. Ancient humans had pain tolerance that would break you, not because they felt less pain, because they understood it differently. A person could suffer a severe injury and assess the damage with complete clarity, could cauterize a wound with hot stone and continue hunting, could ignore a broken bone and walk miles to safety. This was not strength. This was priority. Pain was information. Important information, but not more important than survival. Your brain has inverted this equation. Your brain treats minor pain like an emergency. You have been trained to believe that discomfort is abnormal, that it should be medicated, that it should stop immediately. Ancient humans had memory that operated like a library, not memory as a metaphor. Literal, visual, spatial memory that allowed a person to memorize hundreds of plant species, their locations, their uses, their seasons. Could memorize the terrain of 100 square miles in 3 dimensions. Could remember the faces and genealogies of thousands of people across multiple generations. Your memory is shattered. Not because your brain is weaker, because you have outsourced it. You have a phone that remembers for you, a calendar, a GPS. Your brain said, fine, I will not do this work anymore. And the neural pathways that supported these memories have withered. This is not evolution. This is outsourcing. Your brain is still capable of this kind of memory, but it has to be trained. It has to be used. A person who memorizes 1,000 digits will develop a memory far superior to their peers, but only in that domain. Your ancestors had trained their memory across all domains. Their entire brain was devoted to holding the world in their head. Ancient humans could read a landscape the way you read a book, not because they were smarter, because they had been taught to. A person could look at a hillside and read the water flow, the soil density, the plant distribution, the animal trails, the weather patterns, the seasons, and the time of day, all at once, in the space of a glance. Your visual cortex is flooded with artificial stimuli. Advertisements, notifications, text. Your brain has learned to ignore most of what it sees, to focus on tiny, bright rectangles, to process information at the pace of scrolling. Your ancestors processed information at the pace of observation. Slow, deep, complete. Ancient humans could run for hours without stopping, not at a sprint, at a pace that could pursuit hunt an animal to exhaustion. This was possible because their body had been trained from childhood, because they had developed aerobic capacity and mental endurance that is rare in the modern world, but also because they had never sat down. They had never been still. Their bodies had been in constant motion. Your body has been trained to be sedentary. Your ancestors lived in motion, and ancient humans could trust. Not the way you think of trust. They could read the micro-expressions on another person's face with accuracy that borders on telepathy, could detect lies in the smallest twitch of the eye, could sense intent in body language before a word was spoken. This was survival. In a group of 30 people, everyone knows everyone. Everyone knows what everyone is thinking, because they have to. Because one person's lie could mean death for the group. Your brain has lost this. You live among thousands of strangers. You do not need to read faces. You do not need to sense intent. Your social cognition has atrophied in the skill of deep social understanding and hypertrophied in the skill of managing strangers. Your ancestors could do all of this, not because they were superhuman, because their environment demanded it, because their education was not school. It was the real world. It was life. And their brains grew around the demands that were placed on them. You have not lost the ability. You have lost the need. And when you lose the need, your brain reorganizes. It optimizes for what matters now. And what matters now is very different from what mattered then. Your brain is exactly adapted for the modern world. It is optimized for reading, for managing information, for typing, for sitting, for ignoring the world around you and focusing on a small, bright rectangle. Your brain is not broken. It is perfectly designed for the life you are living. But somewhere inside you, if you paid attention, you might feel a ghost of it. A moment when you are lost in the forest and you look up at the stars and something in your ancient brain wakes up. A moment when someone lies to you and you see it in their face before you hear it in their words. A moment when you climb something tall and your hands remember what they were designed for. A moment when you sit quietly and still and your eyes suddenly become sharp and you can read the landscape the way your ancestors read books. These moments are your brain remembering what it could do, what it was designed to do, what you have lost, not because you are weak, but because you chose comfort, you chose safety, You chose to be done with the demands of the wild. And your brain listened. It adapted. It became exactly what you needed it to become. But it never forgot. Deep in your neurology, in the parts you do not consciously access, your brain still has the blueprints, still has the potential, still has the capability to do everything your ancestors could do. You simply have to ask it to remember. You have to climb's demands on it again. You have to climb. Navigate without a map. Memorize without your phone. Read the world instead of screens. Trust your senses instead of your instincts. And if you do, something remarkable happens. Your brain does not change. Your brain wakes up. It remembers. And you remember too. You remember what ancient humans could do that you have completely lost. And you realize that what you lost was not ability. It was purpose. It was the real world calling you to be more than you have become. It was evolution saying, I gave you a brain capable of this. What are you doing with it? Your hands can do something right now that your hands have forgotten how to do. But they have not forgotten. They have never forgotten. They're just waiting for you to remember.